Yep, that's well and truly knackered.
Let's crack on with it and get it on the car.
Very nice.
Good afternoon, welcome back to the channel. Got a bit of a problem with the Cayenne 955, the Mark 1 Cayenne. I'm getting this kind of vibration and knocking and banging sound when I'm driving. I suspect I know what it is. There's a prop shaft between the transfer box and the rear diff that's known as a Cardan shaft, and there is a bearing and a support. Now the rubber in the support wears, and these are known to go as little as 50,000 miles. I've got 105,000 miles on the Cayenne, so don't know if it's been replaced before or not, but just started all of a sudden yesterday. It's been absolutely perfect. All of a sudden, just pulling out of a car park, heard this bang 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 bang, thought yeah, something's not quite right, rubbish road service or something like that. Pulled out of a junction, had to do it quite quickly, and it sounded like the car was about to fall apart. I'm hoping that that's what this is. Not going to be a desperately cheap fix. Nothing on this car is, to be perfectly honest, but hopefully that's what it is. Like I say, it's a pretty well known issue, so there's plenty of different ways I can fix this. First thing I'm going to do is go and have a look at it, confirm that my suspicion is correct, and then I'll have a think about the best way to repair it.
Now it's looking like this could be, and I know I'm stitching myself up here big time, it's looking like this could be a fairly straightforward fix, all being well. Yep, that's well and truly knackered. My bearing's turning nicely though, so I don't think it's anything more than just the support, but yeah, that basically is knackered.
You can see the cheap and cheerful would come in at around about the £80 mark, plus the cost of balancing the drive shaft. I think the only way I could really get away with much less than 200 would be to actually forgo the drive shaft balancing, and that's a shortcut that I'm not prepared to take. If it's not absolutely perfect, it will only come back to bite me anyway. Quality parts would probably take that total to around about 300. For me, it's actually worth spending a little bit more money for ease of repair and speed of repair, so I've ordered the upgrade kit, and hopefully Design 911 will get that across to me pretty quickly. Hopefully I'll have that in a few days, and I will see you then.
Just as an aside, one option that I didn't mention before was actually replacing the drive shaft. I did look around the prices. Non-OEM as little as £300, but again, it's that name thing that just don't recognise the name. Am I going to buy something that's going to be really well made, really good, or am I just going to buy something that's a bit cheaper and it'll only do 6 months or a year before I start getting problems with it again? OEM, £500 upwards, anything up to sort of £1,400, something like that. I think I'm happy with my choice. That upgrade kit I think is a permanent fix, and is it's not silly money, it's not a bad compromise actually, I think. But what would you have done? Stick something in the comments below. Let me know if you think I've made the right decision, wrong decision, what have you. Let me know what you would have done.
2 weeks later, and it's finally arrived.
So apparently the reason for the delay was that Design 911 had 5 of these in the UK and managed to send all 5 off to their warehouse in the Netherlands. Then had to wait to get it back into the UK, which was actually last Friday. Today's Monday, so in all fairness to them, once they got it sorted, getting it out to me was pretty quick. Okay, Right, what does this say? Be aware that some drive shafts have an extra 1mm layer of thin metal over of the bearing shell. If clamp support does not fit over the bearing, please cut and remove. Okay. I had to say they're about £410 for that, maybe knock off 50-60 quid for that. So if you call that 350, doesn't seem a lot for £350. I'm guessing that partly it's a relatively rare part for a relatively rare car, albeit it does say that it's compatible with the Cayenne S, the Cayenne Turbo, the Cayenne GTS, the Volkswagen Touareg, V6, V8 and diesel. Interestingly, it doesn't mention the Audi. I think there was an Audi model of that age as well, but don't know. But like I say, it's going to be a relatively rare part, so I can understand it costing a little bit more. Not in exactly pristine condition. There's a few marks and scratches and everything out of it. The finish on it isn't particularly fantastic, but it doesn't really matter. It's going underneath the car, and as long as it does the job and it's easy to fit, and that's the end of the problem, it is probably actually 350 quid well spent. But let's crack on with it and get it on the car. Okay, I'm back in what seems to be my favourite place, lying on my back awkwardly under a car on the driveway. I'm back under the Cayenne, of course, and the first job is to remove this, followed by this. So I'm going to lay here patiently working offside down, tipping all this rubber off, and when I'm done I'll be back. That's not bad going. It's taken about 20 minutes to get it this clean. I'm pretty sure that if I wasn't laying on my back, if I actually had access to a car ramp, that's probably only about 5 to 10 minutes effort needed. What I have got is my power drill with the flapper wheel, and I'm just going to give it a final clean. It's actually quite comfortable under here, not. Next job, and the messiest, is to repack the bearing. So apparently there are 2 seals, so I need to get those out with a pick, get some high temperature grease into it, put the seals back, and then I'm ready to put the new support in place. Let's see if I can get this inner one out. Okay. Perfect. I admit to a little bit of trepidation doing that job. I was a bit worried that I might damage one of those seals. There's not much grease left in there, but it's certainly turning well, so I think there's years of life left in that bearing. This is what's left of the parts that came off the car. The rest of it's kind of desiccated and on the floor of my driveway. So I shall be definitely needing to get the broom out later. This is my nice new Whizzy Dizzy posh bearing support. There's 4 bolts, 1, 2, 3, 4, that holds the 2 parts together. So I'll get those undone first. Longer one on the inside, and last but not least, small one on the outside. And there we go. Very nice. We can only go on one way, has to go that way. So just slide it up and around. So I might only be an amateur, but I'm pretty certain that it's supposed to be a bit more like that and a little bit less like it was flapping about all over the place and knocking and banging. So that's looking good. Looks like it's time for a test drive. No worries about balance or anything like that, so I'm feeling good. I can put my foot down on the throttle, I can release my foot from the throttle, no crashing, banging. So the drive shaft bearing is staying where it's supposed to be, which means the drive shaft is staying where it's supposed to be, and that's making for a much nicer, much quieter, much more refined and Porsche-like drive. Well, I'm pleased to say that's job done. Car is driving beautifully again. It was absolutely horrendous. It really felt like the drive shaft was gonna literally shake itself to pieces and come off the car. It was that bad. I don't know how strong they are, whether that would actually happen in reality, but I certainly wasn't taking any chances. It was a case of limping home and really not doing any high speed at all. But like I say, sorted now, driving beautifully. So next thing to do is I'm going to decide if I'm going to change that rubber coupler or not. It may well be a case of if it ain't broke, don't touch it, because the one that's on there looks good. So I think that is probably about it. It's a wrap up for this video. What I would say is, if you enjoyed it, if it was useful, please like and subscribe. It would help us out. We're slowly approaching the 2,000 subscriber mark, which will be a fair old milestone for us, and anything that will help influence the YouTube algorithm to promote us and get us more views would be very much appreciated. So I think that's it. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll be back fairly soon with another video. Cheers, bye.